There's a huge variability in fat content and protein content in breast milk from different mothers, and also change over time for protein. So if you just calculate what effects that would have on a preterm baby and the nutrient intakes, I think it's really clear that you need to measure these factors. Target fortification, as we use it, is that we first we do a breast milk analysis, and then we consider the enteral and parenteral intakes of the baby, and we try to ensure adequate intake of the main nutrients. In Sweden we have used target fortification for several decades, already since the 1980s. I think that target fortification has become a standard in Sweden because we use a lot of breast milk. We have a good tradition of breast milk banks, and we use fortification, and then we would like always to give the correct amount of fortification, so we don't give too much and not too little, so it will be adequate for the baby. When we use target fortification here in our unit, we make the prescription and we use all the available data, meaning what are the products that we want to give to the baby, the breast milk and the other products, the fortification and other supplements, and perhaps parenteral nutrition. And then we use also the data from the breast milk analysis to calculate the nutrient intakes, and we ensure that the baby gets adequate nutrient intakes.
When you change from standard fortification to target fortification, it's important that you analyze the breast milk, and that you do it once a week or even twice a week, especially in the beginning of lactation, because the protein content decreases in time. And then it's important to choose fortification wisely, because there are many products and there are different contents in the fortification. And there is also a problem with osmolality in these small infants. So therefore you have to choose fortification, and when you're analyzing, you know how much you have to add to the breast milk so that you can reach the requirement for the infant.
I think that many people might perceive that it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time and a lot of money to do this, but actually in our experience it's not very complicated to do target fortification. To ensure that the baby gets an adequate amount of fortification, we look at the growth of the baby, and we also look at some biomarkers of nutrition. But I think it's really important that we also cover the nutrient intakes, which can only be ensured if you do a proper calculation, because otherwise the baby can have actually deficiencies of some nutrients which we don't know about because it doesn't give any symptoms. Our research has shown that especially a low energy intake during the first 4 weeks of life is significantly associated to severe retinopathy or prematurity, which of course can lead to defects in vision later in life. And also we think that a good adequate intake of energy, protein and also micronutrients is very important for the brain development and future cognitive and behavioral function of the child, and also for bone health. The calcium and phosphorus intakes are very important, of course. When it comes to the so-called adjustable fortification, looking at the serum urea or blood urea nitrogen to show a protein deficiency, I think it's better to prevent protein deficiency than to try to measure it afterwards. It's the same with growth, really. So we really try to be proactive and ensure a good nutrient intake, and that's why we use the calculations and we use the breast milk analysis.
The EXPRESS study is a national prospective study which included all extremely preterm infants born before 27 gestational weeks that were included and born between 2004 and 2007. And we have conducted a nutritional study with these infants where we included 602 infants of the whole express cohort. So we have looked into the nutritional intakes during the first 70 days and growth outcomes. And we can see that the association with if you give the children more energy and protein, they will grow better during hospitalization. And we have also looked into retinopathy or prematurity. It's an eye disease and which children can actually be blind. And we have seen a strong association between if we give the infants more energy per kilo and day, we can lower the risk for this eye disease. And now we are even looking at other outcomes when we are comparing and looking at the early nutrition and neurodevelopment outcome at 6.5 years of age. So we are quite excited to summarize these data.